What's going on? This is the man of the hour, Leo Rush, and you are now listening to Matt Madness Podcast.
You're good.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of any age, welcome back to the Matt Madness Wrestling Podcast, returning after a few-week hiatus and a few technical difficulties. Tonight, we got X2Fly, Eric Trimbicki hosting with my best friend, Balo, Aaron Lloyd, returning from Mexico, doing the 03 Brock Lesnar shuffle through the airport. And we got a long-lost face, good friend of the show, Biggie Dan Johnson, joining us tonight.
Yes, sir. How are you doing, guys?
As I quote myself in Mexico, Ultimo Warrior del Negro.
Oh, my goodness. Now, who did you call yourself that to?
Huh? You guys.
Who did you refer? Oh, okay.
It was you guys.
Okay, I just wanted to actually know you were talking to the locals and referring to yourself as that.
Because Prepa responded to Angel, and she didn't know what a luchador was, so I had to explain to her what a luchador was. She didn't know.
She's been dating you for over a decade, and she doesn't know what a luchador is.
Nope.
Especially with all this COVID stuff.
No,
and you brought the mask.
I did.
You in Mexico to Mexico, which was great. That
I
was
did.
Probably my favorite picture you sent me here.
And the best part was Teen respond and tell me I'm ridiculous.
Oh my god. Ooh, something.
Sounds like you had a hell of a time down there.
It was interesting. I would go to a different part next time, but it was an interesting time. You'll see lucha masks all over, like the tourist street. It's called Fifth Street or Fifth Avenue out there. The way they try to get you to come into their shops is strange because they all look the same. So they're like, oh, because they know your bracelet from your resort, so they can tell by the color. So they're like, oh, remember me from the hotel, your waiter? Because they all look the same. So they all try to like grab your attention or whatever.
That's pretty funny.
And so I'm with
hustle.
Yeah, it is. So I'm with the New York thing. So I'm like, I got tunnel vision. Don't talk to me. Angel's the one who can easily get got.
She's stopping.
Yeah, so
she thinks there's somebody offering a free drink like at the casino.
Exactly. So like I got tunnel vision. Resort food is always terrible. I've had better tacos here actually, believe it or not.
Okay.
I had my first burrito taco. That didn't disappoint.
That was about to be my next thing. Like, have you been eating them around here?
I have not found a burrito taco here. Like regular tacos, I've had better ones out here. There's a few Mexican spots out here, especially one with my job that's actually really good. And I've had a couple of the same. I got the same ones there as I will get here, and I preferred the ones back here. But
you don't get the burrito ones. What do you get?
No, well, I would usually get was it chorizo?
Chorizo, okay.
Yeah, I always get that.
Next time, get El Pastor.
Really?
El Pastor, a little pineapple.
The spice. Oh
Game
my
changer.
god.
Yeah.
I get it every Tuesday at work. The hot sauce is so hot, I get hiccups.
Do you go to El Camelito by any chance?
Next to Starbucks?
Right off North 5 Points.
Oh, dude.
Little
I'm
plug.
telling
That's
you,
my
call
spot.
them. They're like, it'll be ready in 20 minutes. You go there in 35 and it's still not ready.
It's all right. They know me, though. So something you guys might not know, you probably do. I don't eat onions. I hate onions.
I experienced this earlier today. Michelle dropped the pizza off and Dan was stopping by.
I just don't do it.
There was a cousin of an onion on the pizza.
I respectfully won't eat it. I'm never going to complain. I'm just not going to eat it. So I have a twin sister. She used to eat onions like apples. I had to be around her at all times. Scarred me for life.
The twin thing.
Yeah. Anyway, street tacos, take the onions off. El Camelito, that sauce is hot though.
Okay, so that'll be one of our next stops. And I do appreciate Eric trying to start shit on my Instagram picture. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that. I know.
Stirring a little pot or two.
Just had to tag Corey just for the culture. Just had to tag Corey.
The definition of for the culture. Bring Corey in to stir everything up, ruffle some feathers. He's always in for a little bit of shit talking. Well, speaking of shit talking, we can talk about food here all day, and I think we need to get Aaron and Westchester on a day during El Comelito's hours because those tacos. Dan, are they open on Sundays?
Of course they are.
Okay, all right, then yeah, that'll probably be a day we can make that work. But enough about the food. We're gonna get into tonight's show. I'm gonna kind of go in reverse order of the topics. We are gonna obviously do a little bit of we're gonna end the show, little merch chatter. This is the 2022 Elimination Chamber preview show, and then we're gonna talk about a little bit of gossip going on in the wrestling world. That's what we're gonna get into first. The hottest topic in the wrestling industry right now is Cody and Brandy Rhodes have officially exited AEW. According to their statements on social media, according to Tony Khan's statement on his personal page and the All Elite Wrestling Twitter and Instagram page. What a mix of thoughts. Can it be a work? We're going to fantasy book this. We're about to get into it, but I'm going to go right to Aaron first. What was your first thought when you saw this?
Well, I was always curious because they talked about how he was a free agent throughout the beginning of the year, but I know me and you are probably going to disagree. I'm not sure how Dan feels about Cody within the past year, but the running joke with Cody has been ever since he got that tattoo, everything went downhill for him. And the way, and like, it's a running joke, but I agree with it because, like, you would see the reports throughout in the beginning of last year about how like there's a quote unquote rift between Cody, Kenny, and the Bucks, and you would see that, and then like it kind of played itself out on TV, like Cody distanced himself and wasn't on being the Elite anymore, and like Cody, the thing with Cody, in that small bubble of like Ring of Honor and the Independents where all those guys were working, it worked. But like when it came to AEW, he was overproduced in my opinion, and like he had the elaborate entrances, and he took up a lot of a nice chunk of TV time, and it's a lot different than everybody else because everybody else didn't get the overproduced entrance and actually all that TV time, and the ones that did, they actually made the best of it, and you didn't really have to cringe through it. I know me and Eric disagreed on this too. The Anthony Ogogo stuff from last year. Cody even admitted to it. It wasn't his best work. That was a big down thing for him as well. And I kind of just thought that at this point, especially we talked about this a while back too, with all the original AEW guys, how the company's kind of outgrown them. And when you watch AEW without Cody, you don't miss him. And I think AEW kind of outgrew Cody. And he was one of those guys that they tried to force in, but the crowd was not having it. Brandy, the crowd was not having it at all. And I just think the company just outgrew him. And he's the first big name that actually is leaving the company. And then everybody's running rampant with the rumor that he's headed back to WWE. There's actually a report about somebody from Sports Illustrated a few hours ago that Cody's supposedly signing, but Brandy's not. So we'll see. I have to see what happens with that. But I'm not shocked at all because I just thought the show flowed better without having Cody. And Cody, I just think his time kind of ran out in the company. And that's just my opinion. We all may disagree, but I don't think that we'll all disagree on some of the points I say. We might feel differently, but I think that everybody's kind of going to agree with my points, but you'll feel differently.
For sure. And I'm going to pivot this to Dan in a moment. But the thing I love about this topic is, I think more than any other topic, this is one where as wrestling fans, I don't think no two people, definitely no three people are all going to have the exact same feeling. And I don't think you can really hate everyone's feeling on this because it's so confusing. Because when I first saw it, I was like, this is a work. I also thought the whole him being, not signed, I thought that was a gimmick. I thought that was just going to run its course for a couple months. He was going to have some big match, and he was going to put his AEW career on the line and then go over. But I'll give more detail on my thoughts about Cody and everything. I want to pivot to Dan real quick and see what his thoughts are on the whole thing.
Yeah, sure. And I talked to you a little bit earlier today. I was kind of shocked myself just seeing that it happened. At first, it's kind of like, hey, is this real? Didn't really think. So I was kind of shocked, mainly because he helped grow this business, from the ground up. He was part of that original team that started everything. So it's kind of rare, I feel like, for something to be so successful, and then you walk away from it being part of a founding member. Now, I'm not too sure. I did hear that there were falling outs between him and I think it was Tony Khan. You had mentioned that he did have a falling out. I don't know the details behind much of that. I'll be honest. I'm a fan that really likes to stay off the dirt sheets. I don't like to dig into it because I do like to be surprised. Kind of that nostalgic view that I used to get on wrestling. I appreciate that.
Almost watch it like a kid.
I try to, with obviously the perspective of an adult now, where you can, like you just referenced, listen to one opinion and maybe have a different one, but be able to respect the other one too. And, hey, let's just see how this works out. So I do my best to stay off of them. So I also, after kind of letting that sink in, seeing the news, I did think it could be a work, hearing, he might be coming back. It could be a couple of weeks from now, dark hair Cody's back. So I'm excited to see what they do. I'm really kind of optimistic. I don't think we see Cody in the WWE. I just don't think that's something that would be a long-term success. I think Cody has definitely built his brand a lot bigger, obviously, since leaving the WWE. But I don't think that's a place where he goes back to and grows bigger. If anything, I'd rather see him go the Matt Cardona route. Go have fun in the Indies. Go be with your buddy. Go have fun and go back to AEW where you helped build that company.
So I mentioned when the show opened and we got into the topic that, again, I initially thought the whole thing's got to be a work, and this is kind of one of the fun things where I can't help but read some of the sheets. And a couple hours before starting to record, I read something where this is a work. Well, he'll be back with a couple heaters and will actually be a heel by Revolution. So it's so funny because there's other sheets are saying, we'll see, we could see him on WWE product as soon as next week, but he's gonna be in a match at Mania. My main initial take is, how can one of the Matt, Nick, Cody, TK's wallet, that started AEW. It's those three wrestlers that had All In. How can he go back to the place that he had all the digs at? And I think it's funny whenever we talk about, when everything just kind of happened with the Rumble or like all the unpredictability things. And I remember listening to some shows and they're all like, well, this has happened before. But yeah, when did it happen? 97, 01, 98, 99? Like, nothing like this has happened in so long. When's the last time somebody went back to WWE? That's not biting their teeth to go in the Hall of Fame. It's been so long that it's been something so, and there's never been a big competition like this. So I could see why Vince would obviously want him. Wow, we can have one of the guys that started our rival company.
Sure.
I do think it would be a great jolt of life for WWE. The one thing, and I pointed out anytime we talk about our certain fandoms of active wrestlers, like, really his independent run in Ring of Honor and New Japan is what made me become a bigger fan of Cody. I know when we originally started the show, episode 1, when we talked about wrestlers I currently liked, I didn't give no allegiance or show any fandom to Cody. It was Aaron who actually did. And, that was something he could, always tout throughout the show for the first few years. And it definitely was his work after leaving WWE, which
Sure.
earned my fandom. One question I did have, because it's something Aaron said earlier, you mentioned, he kind of went downhill after the neck tap. And I did hear the thing where he crapped on his work with the program with Anthony Ogogo. Have you personally, because we mentioned about, your fandom when he was in WWE, stuff he's done, being overproduced, booking himself too big, too strong maybe, have you lost your fandom for him, your interest in him?
Not really. It's just the fact of like you can like somebody but not like what they're doing, and that's what people don't really understand. Yeah. And so it's like, I like Cody, like I'm always going to tune in, but I'm still going to judge it. Like, for example, the whole Andrade table spot. Now, I thought that was silly. It was cool, but it was silly because he ate most of that Crossroads over Andrade.
So I was less bothered by that than The ladder match he just had with Sammy, which might be his last AEW match, there was two. And I'm not trying to be the guy. I grew up loving ladder matches. It was the hardcore gimmick matches, the cage matches that
How can you
made me
not?
be a wrestling fan. But you know, the table spot, the crossroads, there was about 5 big ladder spots, and maybe we needed 3 tops. I think there was some overkill in that match, where it's just like any of these moves should be finishing anyone any day of the week, and I think they went a little over too much on that one. That was one of the ones that I kind of was like, this guy, if he really wants to stay in a babyface role, he ain't making it easy to win people back. So I'm not, I appreciated the match. I definitely thought that one specifically, they gave us too much. At this point, if it is real now, my honest opinion, being more of an AEW guy, I don't want it to be real. I don't want him to go back to WWE. I would almost enjoy if it's a couple week ride, a couple month ride, and he's right back on the product, maybe as a heel, which he said he won't do in AEW. I don't know. But if he does show up in WWE, I'll be completely invested. Does he show up with the blonde hair? Does he show up with his AEW theme music? Does he go back to what was his theme music in WWE?
Smoke and Mirrors.
Smoke and Mirrors. Does he go back to that?
Well, one thing he's showing up with is that neck tat. So we'll see what happens.
I can't wait for Vince to see that. He's like, what the hell's that, Cody? When'd you get that?
Yeah, that's real.
Blonde.
Why didn't you get some polka dots? I mean, does he come back still in pants? Does he go back to trunks?
I don't know. We'll see if that's the case. But go ahead.
The one thing, they always say that some of the best wrestling matches are when people have legitimate heat and they're in there in the ring. So it's like, obviously, I know Brock's booked for Backlash, and we got Roman and Brock going back and forth for a while. But Roman versus Cody. Roman ain't going to want to put the guy over. But they'll probably have a banger of a match.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it'll be a good match. I would watch that. Like, I would really be hyped to watch that.
And if he took the high road for himself and he's like, I'm not going to put the world title on myself in AEW, I must be like, hey, I'm interested in coming back, but y'all got to give me the big strap.
That's my fear is that he gets his one shot and then they kick him to the mid card. I fear that for him, and he is not a mid carder. I think he's proven that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're at a perfect time to ask everybody, fantasy book, let's just say if he does go to WWE, what's your dream scenario? What do they do with him?
Well, I'll start first. I'm watching Cody in AEW, and the way the crowd received him. Now, granted, I think a WWE crowd will receive him differently than the AEW crowd. I can't see him coming to the main event, but then I can see him flirting with the mid card as well, especially if the original run doesn't go very well. But as of now, I really can't. Especially if you bring him in for WrestleMania season, it's hard to really book him. But of course, I'd like to see him and Roman. And if WWE does even decide to acknowledge AEW, which they do on occasions, it'll be interesting. But as of right now, I have no idea what program could be. If Brandy was to come with him, I can see him and Brandy against Miz and Maurice. I can see that off the top, and I would love that.
I was thinking the same kind of roles. That's the one thing I was agreeing with you there.
Yeah, and especially with Cody being the whole corporate guy, and granted, WWE wouldn't even acknowledge Rhodes to the Top, which was an awful show, by the way.
Yeah,
Season 2 on the way.
God, I hope not. It was awful. And too much QT Marshall too, but I'm sure they wouldn't acknowledge it. But those are you can easily see those two pairing off because they're a lot similar. And Miz and Cody are actually friends. You can see him with fighting Rollins, but for an original first feud back, I have no idea at this point, especially with everything so close to WrestleMania. We're what 3 or 4 weeks away from WrestleMania at this point, and I have no idea who could actually be put in the ring with except Miz and Maurice if Brandy does show up.
Dan, what are you thinking?
Yeah, it's really a tough one. One, because, like I said earlier, I was kind of shocked about it. So for me to think about who do I want to see Cody Rhodes in the ring with in a WWE ring, names don't just pop into my head. Some things that you might think you'll want to see, maybe something that you weren't able to see before. And Eric, like yourself, like I did take a hiatus for, I don't know, 6-7 years in wrestling. So I could be wrong here in saying this, but I personally haven't seen it. I would like to see like a cool Cody Rhodes versus Edge match, something
I didn't
with
think
a
about
little
that.
more intimacy behind it, with some storytelling, because he can do that. And Edge can as well. So I think that'd be something cool. But I would like to see him go after some top talent too, to prove that I'm not this mid-carder anymore. I am top talent. I can tell a story, and I can do it with the best of them. So it would be cool to see him go that route as well.
So, hell of a take. When you guys started mentioning The Miz and Maurice, I was like, well, how about Beth and Edge? That was one of the first things that ran through my head.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, the Edge thing did run through my head. Tremendous take. Now, when I did get back into the product in 2011, Edge was there for a month and a half, 2 months, and then retired.
Right.
So I'm sure Aaron can confirm this, they've had to have a match.
I don't.
Definitely was a mid-card, if not a low mid-card.
Well, I know they never really had a feud. I can tell you that.
Yeah, maybe it was a throwaway thing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, did Legacy and Rated RKO?
No.
Okay. Those years, Aaron's encyclopedia. He could tell you the week, night, the temperature, what was going on.
Especially when Legacy and Rated RKO contained one of the same guys.
Well, was it not still Legacy when Orin kicked him to the curb or no?
Well, but you said Legacy versus you said Legacy versus Rated RKO. So Rated RKO was 06. Legacy was like 08, 09.
2 years I wasn't about that. I have no idea. Well, man, one thing, I did mention this to Dan earlier, but I got to say it live in the air. The thing that would absolutely, it's going to be hilarious if it happens. If Cody shows up. Cody put himself through a barn burner in a hardcore match with Andrade. It goes through a table. He gets booed. He goes out, has this unification ladder match, gets booed. He wins the title, aired on Christmas, but a couple days before, wins the TNT title. He's getting booed nonstop. He shows up, or in WWE, he's getting cheered, no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt.
Packed house. If he goes to Texas for Mania, 100,000 people are cheering for him.
Yeah, and
No
then
doubt.
another thing with Cody is, like I said, like I think a lot of the AEW fans turn on him because when he comes out, they just see WWE. Because, like I said, when I say
Isn't he so, like, by the time AEW came around in 2019, sorry to cut you off, like, he was so far from that.
Oh, no, that's not what I mean. What I mean is this. Like I said, he was overproduced. Nobody had entrances like Cody in AEW.
True.
Now in WWE, everybody's entrance is overproduced.
Yeah.
And then
He's the other one that comes out from the center.
Yeah, and then he he cuts like these 20-minute promos in the ring like it's Raw or something like that.
Yeah, that's
and like
true.
Cody, like he's always said like he knows he's a pretty humble guy. He says he's not the best workhorse in the ring, and he has the ability to tell a story. So that's why I can't wait if he does come back to WWE. But I just think a lot of the AEW fans, they just see him as like it's like watching Raw or something like that.
Maybe my final take will be on it, and I think Cody is almost to the point, and I think he can almost, in my eyes, do no wrong. Because at the end of the day, whether TK's Wild's there or not, if it ain't for Matt, Nick, and him, and he's the singles competitor, we don't have AEW. So whether it's a bad promo, a bad match, a bad program he's in, it's like, yeah, I get it. He came from WWE, has a lot of WWE tendencies. He did the John Cena homage during the COVID, the TNT Open Challenge, but the Open Challenge was good. I mean, if we had fans, it probably would have been as good as Cena's U.S. Open Challenge. All I know is this is a day-old news, and the next couple of weeks, next couple of months, they're going to be very interesting to see everything unfold.
Let me ask you guys this, too, just as a final statement on that. Will you be upset if he really is just kind of hanging up the boots and, he's taking care of his show and taking care of the family and the baby, and he is actually just hanging it up? Would you guys be upset with that?
Not at all.
No. because if he's taking time off, he'll be back. He'll be back.
Sure.
The memes going around, especially like I said, he'll be back. He'll be back. If he's gonna hang his boots up, focus on his wife, his daughter, the reality show, wants to dip in acting, he'll be back in AEW. He'll do something. And the cool thing is, if he comes back in 6 months, if he comes back in a year, he's gonna be loved. He's gonna be cheered then.
Do it for the pop.
So, yeah, do it for the pop, and at the same time, this way he can, rest and regroup.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wouldn't be upset about that at all.
Likewise, I agree with you guys on that.
So, middle of the day, Saturday, 5 in the weekend. I'm going to be working.
Likewise.
Post office is going to be popping. G parts, you going to be slinging them on Saturday? No, you're on.
This is it's a weird weekend for us. We're a little, something's going on a little crazy with work. So I might be, not 100% sure.
Oh, okay.
But we'll see.
Okay.
Hopefully I'm not, so I can tune in. But I do have a little second monitor. I showed you before. I might be able to set up a little bit.
So
we'll see what happens.
Who's excited for some Saudi wrestling this weekend?
After the last show, I definitely am.
Okay, positive turnout. Because many times on here, we would just kind of crap on this, and actually a lot of times not even preview or review it.
Oh, no.
We got a 7-match card, and I'm going to work my way from the bottom on the way I wrote this out. I'm sure some of these matches we're not going to have a lot to take on it. If you got comments, give your comments. Let's at least all predict it. Start this one since we got Dan here. He's a big Drew McIntyre fan, and he's going up against a heater. He's going against Madcap Moss.
I don't want to give away spoilers or anything, gentlemen, but I'm going to have to stick with my guy Drew on this one. I can't get behind Madcap. He bothers me. I guess that's what he's trying to do, but he just bothers me.
I have a soft spot for Madcap Moss because he's actually a really good wrestler. I'm not even going to front. I don't know if you guys ever watched him like on NXT or like any of those NXT like those NXT Access shows. That he's actually pretty good. So I kind of have a little soft spot for him.
I'll have to take a look at him.
But Drew McIntyre wins.
I was just going to say, Dan actually just texted me. He said that he thought you had a soft spot for him because you guys both dress the same.
I don't have those little shorts.
Whoa.
Oh, man. Well, with all due respect, just because...
Wait, don't wear suspenders? When the last time I wore some suspenders?
Not when you're in Mexico. When you're elsewhere. But since Madcap dresses like my bestie, I'm going with Drew McIntyre.
It should be the other way around. You should be picking Madcap.
Believe me, I got nothing going for him. And Aaron would be pissed about this. Or no, I was meant to say Corey. But let's move on. We got another singles match. Rey Mysterio going up against The Miz. Honestly, I figured this was going to end up being Dominic going against him, but I guess they're saving that for a States pay-per-view. I'm going to start off with my prediction. I see The Miz going over on Rey.
I agree. I think Miz is going to take it because I agree with you. I see Dominic later down the line, and you only get Dominic when you beat Rey. I feel like so. I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go with Rey per the video game coming out in a few weeks, and I did enjoy the Miz on Mysterio's on Miz TV. I don't know if you guys saw, but Maurice is just perfect. She's so corny, but. Yeah, Rey, Maurice, Stereo, and then Miz drops you're really tall. You sure you're not Eddie's kid? He dropped that on Dominic, which is perfect. I don't hate this, but I'm going with Rey Mysterio per the video game.
Wow. You know what? The one hot take that, Rey Mysterio is a legend, and we all know Saudi wants legends over there, so I could see them wanting to give the babyface the win in this one. Yeah, man, there was one other thing I was going to mention about that whole Maurice thing. The Eddie thing. You know what? I'm going to give Mrs. Flowers here. Dan, I think everybody knows. Long time ago in this show, wasn't the biggest Miz fan, but after this whole thing is done with the Mysterios, send him back to SmackDown. Have him find that Intercontinental title wherever it is, so he can. Dig it up. I don't even know what's going on with that thing. Does it even exist?
New champ. Spoiler, Sami Zayn.
Is it? There's not an IC title match on this.
I saw that.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. WWE leaked it. WWE posted it themselves. So Sami Zayn is the new Intercontinental Champion.
Right.
Oh,
SmackDown's tape. SmackDown's tape. Yes.
Oh, SmackDown. Wow. Congratulations, Sami Zayn. Thank you for rescuing a childhood favorite of mine. That's some news of the day. Speaking of news I wasn't aware of, I was looking up this card. I didn't watch SmackDown last week, so I had to get familiar. I'm excited to see these two storylines going together. We have the women's tag match. We got Ronda Rousey and Naomi going up against Naomi's arch nemesis, Sonya Deville, and the SmackDown Women's Champion, Charlotte. Thoughts on this tag team match?
I'll start with that. I think it's going to be pretty cool. Everybody's probably excited to see Ronda back. I'm not the biggest Ronda fan in the world. I wasn't really a big MMA fan of her. I really like the just being able to be fluid in the ring, and sometimes I feel like she's not that way. Obviously, she's knocking the rust off now as well. It's going to take some time. I'm excited to see her in the ring with people that can help her get to that spot as well. I think it's going to be a great combination match, especially with the heat that's going kind of in both rivalries, really. I mean, Ronda and Charlotte, they've been obviously Ronda's been out, but they've been kind of going after it for years and have always had their thing. But it's cool seeing everything with Naomi and Sonya lately as well. Kind of take time to build that little storyline that they have and back and forth that they've had, not just as Eric and I have been saying, that 3-week, start to finish feud. So it's kind of cool to see that. So I'm excited to see it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think
Real quick.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to get one quick take from that. Ronda's first run. Did you enjoy it? Not a fan?
I enjoyed it. Again, I really just look for something to make me just believe. Again, that's why I'm not really on the dirt sheets or anything. And it took a little bit, but I think Ronda got to a point where I was believing her in the ring. As a.
Were you watching when she was competing in 2018?
Yeah, absolutely. I was watching at that point. So it was cool to see her, and you could see the evolution of how she was in the ring. At first, she definitely looked very green in there, like anybody would. And I think now, again, I think it's just a matter of knocking off the rust for her. But obviously, she gets the pop. It's cool seeing if she ever rocks the Roddy Piper shirt. It's cool. I like seeing it. Hot Rod.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm excited to see it. I think it'll be a good match.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed Sonya Deville. I think she's excellent in her role as an official. And the Naomi and Charlotte match was really good this past week on SmackDown. If you guys didn't watch it, I recommend watching that. Due to politics, we're not getting the match we should be getting. The match we should be getting is Ronda and Becky, not Ronda and Charlotte. But I'm still looking forward to the whole match with Charlotte. I think it's still going to be good. But this is just basically the stopgap between both those matches in the future. So I'm gonna go with Ronda and Naomi to win.
Heck yeah. I'm obviously Ronda's first match back. She's not going to lose. Ronda and Naomi are going to win this. Also, I agree with Aaron. Sonya is great in the administrative role. And the reason she is because before she was a heel, she was enjoyable to like. And I legitimately despise her. Like, I hate her while she's on TV. And once the TV's off, I'm like, hey, man, I wonder what she's doing, this and that. And I appreciate my elite of her, blah, blah, blah. But her segments with Naomi over the past several months have been great. Long-term story booking.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they knew how to do that in New York anymore.
And she looks hot in a suit.
I'm trying to think of anything I can say that's PC appropriate on here. I'm not trying to get the podcast canceled while we're trying to get it hotter than ever in 2022. So I'm going to leave that alone.
Have they listened to our old episodes? We would have been canceled years ago.
Especially the episodes I was on.
Lord.
You know, those early episodes I drank a 6-pack on? Sheesh.
And those 2300 arena rants? Oh, please.
Oh, my God.
We would have been gone.
Arena, can't wait. Take me back.
The arena.
Let's keep talking about the women, all right? I'm always a little iffy about chamber matches that are just for number one contendership, but that is what the Raw women's division has to go through in Saudi. We got Liv Morgan, who's challenged for the Raw women's title a couple times recently. She's going in there against the big, illustrious Pippin Nevin, a.k.a. Doudrop. She's also going to be going against former SmackDown Women's Champion Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Nikki ASH, and the returning Alexa Bliss. I'll bet $1 we all got the same prediction. I would like to be wrong. I'm going to take this first. Hopefully it's good. I think it's been over a year since WrestleMania's coming up. Alexa hasn't had a match in over a year.
No, she wrestled in September at Extreme Rules when she fought Charlotte. We haven't seen her since September.
But it wasn't a little bit more gimmicky though, or am I wrong on that?
What was that?
Was it more of a gimmicky match?
Yeah,
a lot of spots.
Yeah, because it was basically based off of Charlotte ripping up Lily.
Oh, okay.
So that was in September.
Yeah, I kind of remember that.
As we all know, I love when I'm wrong. So, okay. We haven't seen Alexa in a while. You said this past September. I'm going to give my prediction. I think Alexa wins. I think we got to get her away from the whole Fiend gimmick. I don't know if that's actually going to happen. Aside from her, before she was announced, even though I feel like it was almost known, I was going with Bianca with my dark horse and my want being Liv, but I don't think they're ever going to give Liv the push. I think she's going to be like the Tori. Obviously, she goes better in the ring, but she's like the Tori Wilson of our generation that is never going to get the title. What are your guys' predictions on this chamber match?
Go ahead, Dan.
So, kind of like yourself, I really like Bianca Belair. That's who I would like to win it. She's really second to none in my opinion right now. Pound for pound, athletically, she really is the EST, and that's not a gimmick. That's real life. I really like her in the ring. She's good. I've always been a Rhea Ripley fan as well, but storyline wise, I don't see that happening. After having Alexa be the last entrant, I kind of agree with you. It's one of those situations where I don't know how good it will be because of the creative that you get out of New York, but there's a reason that they did it that way. So I want either Rhea Ripley or Bianca to take that one. I think they're the best talents right now that they have in there. Younger talents that are kind of brought up through the system for them. But I have a feeling you're right with that, Alexa Bliss. I think she might get in there and somehow win that thing and go on to WrestleMania.
Yeah, you would think that all the time that they gave Alexa on Raw the last 3 or 4 weeks that she's winning. And by the way, those segments were awful. That therapist was god awful, and I don't know who would pay to see him. He did nothing. He did absolutely nothing.
His acting is worse than the writers that booked the damn show.
There's Dr. Shelby and there's everybody else. You can't not do therapy without Dr. Shelby. So you would think Alexa's going to win because of the time they devoted to it, but they have yet to pay off Bianca and Becky. Like, they had their little thing on Raw a few months back. So, because all signs should point to Bianca Belair getting her fair shake. Because when Becky did beat her on Raw, she cheated. And we haven't seen it since. We got a break from Becky and Bianca. We had the whole Liv Morgan thing. And then we had the Becky with Charlotte thing going into Survivor Series. So they've kind of not been involved with each other since around October. So I think they should pay off Bianca and Becky at WrestleMania. And I just can't see Alexa versus Becky being one of their marquee matches at WrestleMania, even though I know you love Alexa. I do think they have to give us that Bianca and Becky real full story and pay off SummerSlam, because that SummerSlam thing still is a little rough, even though Becky did cheat. But they have to pay that off, so I'm going to go with Bianca Belair to win.
And especially with, last year Bianca main eventing one of the 2 nights of WrestleMania, you figure she's got to be in one of the title pictures. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with just trying to remember September of last year, but was that match for the title?
Yes. Charlotte.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I really.
Yeah.
Man,
That's the show where Finn
that
Balor.
product is such a blur.
Yeah, that's the show when Finn Balor caught the Holy Ghost.
Oh my good. What a match! Yo, shout out to Finn Balor. Oh my, who was he facing in that match? I can't even
Roman.
remember. Was it Brock?
Roman.
Ah, yeah. Why am I thinking Roman? Well, oh man, there's so much. I was trying to think about how bad this product is. You know what I don't remember? You remember Chad Gable and Bobby Roode were a tag team?
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't know how I
do.
stumbled across that. I was looking something up about Chad Gable, and I somehow came across a picture of the two of them, and I'm like, what in the world is this?
Yep, had his own robe and everything.
Tag champions together?
Yes.
Well, I really think we should start keeping a count somewhere on the podcast for how many tag partners Chad Gable has.
And he's awesome with everybody. Chad Gable's awesome.
Yeah. Four tag title reigns, 3 different partners.
Yeah, it's impressive.
But at the same time, Bobby, man, I don't know. Maybe I feel like I might got to do the same list for Bobby Roode.
Yeah. 2 and 2.
If you
Ziggler and Gable.
okay.
Hey, speaking of tag teams, I know we're going over the Saudi card, but just a quick side note: how do you guys feel about Kofi Kingston and Big E coming out to New Day music, and they're not introduced as New Day, but I mean it's very much so New Day. They're separating their ring attire, but it's New Day. How do you feel about it?
So I read there's a sheet. Vince doesn't want them to be referred to as the New Day. I don't like it. I don't respect it. I also didn't watch SmackDown last week. I don't like that they took a loss to Los Therios or whatever the hell they're calling.
Right.
I can't even remember their names. The fact that 2 former WWE champions are losing to a former Raw tag champion and a former Cruiserweight champion, get out of here. This is it's very disheartening. I don't like it. I don't respect it. Yeah, I'm not happy about it. Aaron, your thoughts?
I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, I didn't even care. I just didn't care. It's like, all right, Vince, whatever. He'll change his mind.
Yeah, and I was watching it, and I kind of took the same take on that. Like, I don't really care that much, but it just popped in my head. Like, do they not give it enough time and commit to what they're doing? If you're not going to have Big E with New Day, don't have them tagging with them. I get you have Xavier out right now, but there's so many other people than Big E. Why push that back together and essentially say, hey, I'm no longer committing to, kind of breaking those guys apart? I don't know. I feel like they just don't give enough commitment and time to let things develop they should.
Or even if he's not going to be going back against Lashley, put him in the mid card. Singular.
You went from losing the heavyweight or carrying the championship down to getting squashed by these guys, the Lethal Lovers, I think they call themselves. Come on,
leave Big E on Raw. Have him going for a U.S. title. Put Kofi back over there. Have him going for the IC title. But we're talking tag teams. We're talking SmackDown. Let's get back on the chamber. The SmackDown tag titles are to be defended against maybe the greatest tag team of our generation. And definitely, when it comes to New York, Jimmy and Jay the Usos defending against the Viking Raiders. I actually have a few comments about this, but not many. So I'm going to let you guys take it first.
Usos.
Yeah, I don't have too much to say about this one. It's cool to see the Viking Raiders back in there, but I mean, Usos are taking it. It's their time right now.
I'm going to contradict what I'm about to say. I feel like usually in one of these Saudi shows, you do have a random title change. So maybe that's the surprise, but I don't see that actually happening in this match, and maybe on this whole card. I see the Usos retaining. My only comment about this has nothing to do with the match. Aaron, did you get the Raiders elites?
I have them. They're really good.
I hate myself because are they a year-old figures at this point?
Yeah, a year and a few months, yeah.
Yeah, they're what's it called? This past Black Friday, you could have got the 2 of them for about 25 shipped, and now they're at like 42 for the set.
Ooh,
and,
really?
I slept, and I'm like, I kept telling myself I don't need them, and then now I'm just like, I might need these in hindsight.
Yeah.
Good old FOMO. And I'm like, yep.
They're
yeah,
really
cool.
good. They're really good figures. Like, it's a shame that they've amounted to nothing on the main roster, but those are really good figures. Like, they almost made my purge.
Well, if they do, we'll flirt. But I think it's one of those things. It's almost like Good Brothers elites, like Anderson and Gallagher.
I hope they hit Good Brothers elites numbers.
Yeah,
I don't. Not when you come selling to me for dirt cheap. But yeah, Viking Raiders elites. I think that's going to be something I'm going to need soon. I think Usos would obviously take it. But moving up the card, well, let's keep it championship talk. Becky Lynch is defending it against one of her childhood heroes, Lita. Lita from Team Extreme. Lita from the Hardy Boys. Lita who cheated on Matt for Adam. Who do we got?
honestly, like the young guy that just wants to see some cool shit in wrestling, I'm taking Lita. I think it'd be cool, man. And I think she does that, and because right now, if you have the title picture for Mania, what do you have? Ronda and you have Charlotte. Who's Becky facing? I mean, I don't really know who she'd be going up against. I mean, obviously she has everybody in the Elimination Chamber. Maybe she can have a 1 or 2 week little run or something. Lita with the championship, give her one. It'd be cool. I don't know. It'd be cool to see Lita, but I don't know. If I'm being realistic, got to go Big Tom Bex.
Yeah, I think they actually built this really well. Because
I agree.
With the whole childhood hero, like Becky had a line a few weeks ago on Raw saying that if there wasn't no Lita, there wouldn't be a Becky Lynch. But now there's a Becky Lynch, so there has to be there's no need for a Lita. I thought that was a great line, and like how broken she looked on Raw Monday night.
Oh, that was great.
I thought like she just rolled out of bed. I thought that was really good. And Lita still looks great. She looks
still edible.
Yeah, she looks great. She's taking care of herself. Lita out of the older guard in the women's division, she's probably the least best worker out of all of them. She's always been a bit unorthodox, but I'm interested to see where the match goes. I was really wishing we got her versus Charlotte. I think her versus Charlotte would actually get a better match out of Lita than Becky Lynch would. But I'm gonna go with Becky Lynch to retain.
So, Swerve. I was just saying when we were reviewing the SmackDown Tag Titles that I thought in Saudi Arabia they usually give us a plot twist. Coming up to Mania, I'm sure Becky's defending a title. However, let's be realistic. I think exactly what Dan said. He kind of took the words out of my mouth. Give the fans what they want. Give the Saudi crowd a pop. They love nostalgia. I think Lita's going to take the title. I think she's going to go and defend it this coming week on Raw or the following week and drop the title. Give us a surprise. Give us something to be happy about. Freaking shock the system. Put the title in Lita. I'm going with Lita. Lita's taking the Raw Women's title. And my real hot take on it, Aaron mentioned her unorthodoxness and everything, but we see everything with Vince on how he treats Brock. The man don't have a match unless it's for a title. Goldberg, he doesn't have a match unless it's for a title. He brings back these part-timers and, oh, you want a strap? Here, take it. But we saw with bringing Mickie James back, and then we get them back in the Rumble, and you get these nostalgic acts, and they're in and out of the ring. Except for Michelle McCool, everyone's in and out. Beth Phoenix, they get a little bit of respect. Those two, nobody else. Lita and Trish are New York royalty.
Yep.
If he would ever give a female nostalgia act, then, now, and forever a title, is Trish or Lita, I think that's after Lita.
I agree.
So let's all hope we can feel some nostalgia with that. And we're going to keep it going. There's 2 more title matches. We got 2 world title matches. I'm going to jump over to the Universal title, because this is to pop Dan. I called Dan in just to review this match. Phone a friend. This match is 2 years in the making. I'm here for it.
Absolutely.
Imagine, like, you thought you were you thought you had a chance with this broad, and it falls apart. 2 years later, boom, you have a shot. That's what this is. This is the broad you wanted for 2 years. It's Goldberg versus Roman. Spear versus Spear. You thought last year you had Spear versus Spear with Edge and Roman. This is the real Spear versus Spear.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Title change hands in Saudi? Does Goldberg end the 500-plus day reign of Roman Reigns?
Well, you know what? We just picked Alita. It'd be cool to see, but I don't think you're getting 2 reigns going down. No pun intended there. I don't think you're losing both of those heavy title reigns there. So I'll take one small pop with Lita's show, and Becky will win it back. But it is kind of cool. We referenced it earlier in the show too. That is Saudi Arabia maybe the payback show that we're getting. You're finally seeing Roman and Goldberg. You're going to be seeing potentially Bianca and Becky. Is this kind of the evolution to kind of pay back all those old debts that we're all kind of scratching our head? Hey, when are you coming back to this? So hey, maybe they are starting to catch on to something a little bit here in giving us back what we're kind of looking for and cleaning up some of the answers that were not answered. You guys know I'm a Goldberg guy. I love it. I watched earlier today. I watched the promo between the two of them when they were back there with Michael Cole. I'm not sure if you guys were able to see that one. Roman's great, flawless. Man, he has evolved. He truly is the tribal chief, head of the table. He's the needle turner. He's the best thing they got.
Ooh,
he's all of it.
Called him the needle turner. Whew.
He really is. And again, you guys know I'm a Goldberg guy, but I don't need to see Goldberg sitting in the back talking to Michael Cole, spitting a promo, trying to remember those words. Man, that was brutal. I'm sitting there. I need to defend this guy. Just get in the ring, man. Just say you're next. Walk the hell out. That's all I need from. If you're gonna do it, I've said to you, Eric, before. Like, I'm a Goldberg guy. I got the tattoo and all, but
I know.
I'm ready. I'm ready for him. Yeah, in that room, right where you're sitting. I'm ready for him to stop going in the ring. But obviously, we know this is an easy Saudi Arabia, throw him in the mix, heavy money, big bucks. So I don't think Roman loses this match. I think, if anything, this is going to be a pretty dominant match, I think, for Roman. There's going to be a few spots where Goldberg gets his time just for the Saudi Arabian fans, for the show itself, for the length of the show and whatnot. But ultimately, I think Reigns takes this one clean.
Yeah, so before I left last week, I started to text you a theory I had, but I talked myself out of it. I was like, what if Brock costs Roman the title? Because they love Goldberg and Saudi. Hey, you've been talking about a shock all episode, and that would have been it. But it wouldn't make any sense because Brock gets his title shot no matter what, so that wouldn't make any sense.
You know what I thought was great? Well, true. He does get a... All right. I actually thought about it for a second. I was like, what if they do Brock and Roman with no title?
Brock's guaranteed a title shot, but I talked myself out of it, and then also I believe the Elimination Chamber match is going to end the show, so that would disregard all that. But I do think Roman will retain this match. I'm actually looking forward to this match because I think it'll just be finishers on max, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Sweet. Obviously, I'm going to go with Roman here. I'll tell you what. I've appreciated the nostalgia act. Last year's SummerSlam, Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley, was a great match.
Awesome.
I loved the match. The match was great. I hate the way they ended it, unless it was a real shoot, which I don't think it was. Or I guess it was. I don't know. But great match. The real question is, obviously I think it's unanimous. We're all going Roman. Does this match go longer than 6 minutes?
No.
Does it go longer than 4 minutes?
Yes.
I think you're right. That's a happy medium spot right there.
A hard 5.
6 minute mark.
Hard for 5. That's what she says.
Another point I wanted to make about my thing last week. Goldberg has lost 3 matches in a row. Even though this is his last WWE match last match on his contract. I was just thinking, I was like, they like him in Saudi. He's lost 3 matches in a row. Crazier things have happened.
He did say he wanted to be there long term, so who knows, man.
I just want to see him and Ziggler do another match.
That was good.
Yeah, time out. And actually, when he first confronted Roman, I was like, all right, well, Roman's going to get the W. You know what I would love? I was talking about Sami Zayn. He found a shovel. He digged up that IC title Shinsuke buried. Damian Priest just beat AJ and retained the U.S. title. I would adore Goldberg. Give Goldberg a 2010 Bret Hart U.S. title reign. Put him give him his first U.S. title in 28 years,
and
or
then just give
however
it
long
away.
it's been. Well, maybe actually drop some. Yeah, or give it away. Give it to Dolph. Give it to Riddle.
Well, put it
put
in a tournament. That's what he did.
I would love to see him in a mid card. Give him if he has to have a championship match all the time, or put him in a tag championship. I don't know, but yeah, I would like to see him. Let's get him away from the world title.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, well, we got to pay homage to Dolph selling Goldberg's spear in that SummerSlam match. That was the best sell of a spear I've seen in my life.
Wait, speaking of best, all right, we're moving on to the WWE title now. I got a theory or two, and I'm not good with numbers because I missed 7 years plus of the product. But I'm going to come up with a round number and say there's been roughly 35 Elimination Chambers. November of 2002, the match was put in existence. Several years, there has been two chamber matches per show. I think there's a solid chance this might be the greatest chamber match of all time. We got the WWE title being defended as it should in a chamber match. We got Austin Theory going up against Matt Riddle, AJ Styles, Seth freaking Rollins, Brock Lesnar in his first Elimination Chamber match, and the defending Bobby Lashley. I'm going to run with this first, since we got a beautiful pause right here. Aaron, you're the stat man. Besides the ECW...
That was the only one.
That's the only one Lashley's been in?
Yep.
The only little tidbit I appreciated about the Raw promo when he said, I've actually won one of these matches. Yo, that was 15 years ago. I'm not mad that you bring up something from the past. I'm like, you won. He won it because that's when he won the ECW title.
Yep. In the worst chamber match ever as well.
I still feel it. I mean, was the tag title match better in
No.
2016, 2015?
What in that pay-per-view?
No. I mean, I know that one gets crapped on, but I'm thinking of like, what was it? I don't know if New Day was in it, but Primetime Players.
Yeah, New Day was in it.
Was that better? I mean, I always think, and again, I did watch that match. It wasn't great, but I'm just like, I never understood why it's the worst. I'm just like, if there's 35 of these, that's the worst one, really?
Okay.
Or is it just bad because it's
here's an idea. I think all three of us should do a watch along of that match.
I'm with it.
And watch the booking on how bad it is. In 2006, I knew it was bad.
Okay. All right. I think we're all aboard.
Let's do it.
For the listeners at home, stay tuned. That'll be dropping within a week, 2 weeks tops. But yeah, I'm excited about this. I'm excited about seeing how Lesnar doesn't go over. Do we get like the Shawn Michaels spot when he cost Taker the title? I'm going Bobby Lashley retains. Actually, you know what? I want Bobby Lashley to retain. Seth Rollins leaves with the title. He's defending against Cody at Mania.
Yeah,
that's my hot take of the night.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. I figured you were going to say Lashley, to be honest with you. I was actually going to pick Seth Rollins myself to take it. I think they've been pushing him a lot lately. I really like this new Seth. It took me a little bit to get on board with it. I was kind of like, man, you kind of just seem weird. But I like it, man. He looks like the Joker walking out there all the time.
And you can
cool
tell
gimmick.
he's comfortable. He is comfortable.
He's
in
very comfortable. And just like Roman Reigns is in his new role as well, in being the tribal chief, I think he's found his niche that's really, like you said, just comfortable and organic for him. So I think it's a good time to get him pushed again, give him a push rather again. It's been a while to see him on top of everything. So, and I know he wants to headline WrestleMania. So I could see him out there, man.
Before Aaron runs with it, the one thing I'll say, I appreciate Seth. He's kind of always been in the title picture. I think it was real early COVID. It was last time we saw him. He was half a Raw tag champ, but he hasn't been in the singles spotlight for a while. Aaron, am I forgetting something?
For what, Rollins?
For 2 years. Yeah, Rollins.
No, because he was dealing with the Mysterios for almost majority of 2020, and last year, what was he doing last year in 2021? He had to deal with Murphy for a little bit, but he wasn't really been in the world title scene.
Ever since he came back, right, as the what was he, the Monday Night Messiah?
Yes.
He hasn't had it since.
Yes.
So the one thing I'll say, like with the whole Monday Night, I thought that whole thing would be semi-short-lived. COVID hit, everything like that. I really couldn't buy into it for him. But my one takeaway, I'll admit, I really thought he was doing good work, and the whole thing came up with the Roman feud. And it may have been him coming out in the Shield gear and laughing it up that kind of helped. But I think even during all that, the build up to the Roman match, I was just like, this guy's comfortable because it's one of his real life best friends. And then I'm sitting here and I'm like, this is Bobby Lashley. They're not buddies. And he came out there and he's strutting and he's walking and he's laughing. And I'm like, this guy's cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Yeah. You're talking on Monday Night Raw, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. That was great. And even the lines that he was hitting, got good news, got bad news. It was so smooth. I don't know. I'm kind of buying into to Seth frickin' Rollins right now. I think he's going to take it, guys. Even though I do like my guy Riddle out there, he my bro, but need somebody to fill in there.
It's the outfits for me. It's the outfits for me.
Austin Theory takes the first fall.
Oh, please, of course, absolutely.
You and Seth shop in the same aisle. That's
man, it's the outfits for me.
Now we don't know the order just yet.
No.
Is that right?
No.
Okay.
No, but I hope Brock should start it. Brock and Austin start it.
We might have to pull some numbers, boys.
Brock goes, I'm in. Brock goes the full match, and it justifies him being pinned somehow. But yeah, Brock and Austin should start it, and he buries Austin, and then you get like a 30-second timer while he waits for the next opponent. Thing I'm excited about Brock in this now, and I'm definitely probably wrong, but like I feel like if you think back, man, there's got to be a year semi-recently where somebody eliminated the majority of the people. But like I really think about like Goldberg and like the second chamber match, like going out there and just sheer domination. Like Brock's gonna do something real different in this match. That's why I think it's got the potential to be the greatest chamber match. Which I know Aaron and I are gonna agree. The greatest chamber match of all time is still the first one.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, it's not even close.
And it's because of the doo-doo tights.
Yes, and the little bob haircut.
Little bob haircut. All right, so predictions all around. Where are we at? Rollins for Dan, Rollins for me.
I'm gonna go with Lashley. I do think Roman does HBK his way into this match because if you're gonna put the title back on Brock, that doesn't make any sense that you actually put the title on Lashley. So I do think it's going to end up being Lashley. I think Lashley will defend against Rollins at WrestleMania.
Okay. I ain't mad at that matchup, but you did forget Cody's actually facing Rollins at Mania. But either way, we got one Lashley.
Spoiler.
Which I'm pulling for Lashley, but I see Rollins taking the W. That wraps up the Chamber preview. What other kind of chatter we got? This is usually where we kind of like dig into the knapsack, or we're all talking about things that recently came in the mailbox because of our illustrious U.S. Postal Service carriers. Shout out to Balo.
I got something to say, and I'm very upset you gloss over this. Brock Lesnar might be the best interview ever.
It's the blue ink in my
I didn't watch the whole thing.
Oh my God!
Oh, that was good.
Like I couldn't listen to it. I had to watch it because it was incredible. And like, I'm listening to Pat McAfee. I'm like, why have I never watched this show?
I subscribe.
I'm like, what?
You watch?
I never
watch
watched
it
the show. I never watched the show
Today
until
I hit
yesterday.
the button subscribe.
Until
I want to
today.
watch the show.
Like,
So
I'm about the podcast standing up if I didn't knock all this shit over. You can't even see me, but I want a podcast just standing up just like this.
I stand up, and you saw me last time I stood up there.
I'm like, this show is incredible.
So, all right. Where did Pat McAfee go to college?
I don't even remember.
All right, neither of y'all know. Y'all should know, but I'm pretty sure he went to West Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, you're right. He did go to West Virginia.
One of my colleagues, born and raised in West Virginia, is a Pat McAfee mark. Has not watched wrestling since the mid to late 90s. So when he had his NXT match, he had a barbecue, had a projection screen out back. I went over there and watched it with him. So he watches the show damn near every day at work. So I'm walking past, and he says something about, he's like, is Brock Lesnar so relevant? I said, excuse me, what? And I'm hearing his voice. I go walking, whoa, I got to cuss around in a test drive. I'm running in, I'm watching this. Customer comes back, like, I'm talking a million miles a minute. Hey, yeah, be right back. I'm like, he's like, hey, what do you need? I was like, I'm using your copy. I was like, why are you using my copy? I was like, I'm trying to catch some of the show. So I'm there listening to Brock
That's
talking.
funny.
And he's like, wait, you can rewatch this. Like, it's not like it's just live and nothing. I was like, dude, you don't understand. Brock doesn't do interviews.
Oh, man.
Brock's last interview was like 6 years ago in the Steve Austin podcast on the network. He don't do these. So he puts Pat over at the end, says how he makes the SmackDown show. He talks about how it's not really true that he doesn't hate people. It's just, he doesn't feel comfortable around crowds. He talks about just throwing Wee Man through a table and how it wasn't scripted. He just walked in and it just happened. He said guy got up and got peacock chest with him. Brock is knocking on national treasure, and he was a national treasure because he was a freak, but he's a national treasure because he is, in 2022, Brock Lesnar is a man of the people.
Yeah, it
One
was
of a kind, man.
It was like his Austin impression was great.
And the whole cast.
It was so good. I was like, I love this man. Like, I don't like all the Brock hate we've given on this show has been taken back because this that interview was perfect. I was very sad it was only 49 minutes.
2019, we popped when he cashed in.
Like you popped. I was very upset, but like it was
whatever. I only think about me. I was the one drinking. You was.
It was so good. Like
hey, he got the biggest pop on Monday night too when everybody came out.
Yeah, like I want to buy his seasoning now. Like I'm gonna be like a whole mark and buy his seasoning.
Me too.
Oh god, it was so good. It was so good. Cause like when I first saw Brock doing an interview.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was like, "This is old. This isn't new. This is something older."
Yeah, he talked about
super good.
He talked about his life, talked about his kids and stuff, and it was such a good interview.
And how about him breaking the table within 2 minutes of being on the show, and
Perfect.
then at the end of it, just throwing the headphones and they're up in the rafters. They're staying there now.
Oh my God, it
was good stuff.
So special. Who would have known in 2022 we would be revering him this way? Not retired, still competing, and we're just gushing over the damn.
He missed people.
My favorite run by far.
And not only that, I was trying to explain to my colleague who loves Pat McAfee. I was like, you gotta understand, Pat McAfee makes him so much better because he comes out and he says, if a space apocalypse comes and we need a human to go up against the aliens, Brock Lesnar's the first we call. I'm not quoting this directly perfectly, but it's such an amazing line.
So now back to the post office.
Back to the post office. Bayla, what's she talking about over there?
I'm not opening this because I have nowhere to put it, but I did get the AEW stage.
I'm proud of you.
Nice.
I'm not opening it because
I had beers last night and finally ordered mine.
Okay, so
I'm so surprised you don't have no AEW ring. What did you do?
No, I don't have anywhere to put it because I saw Myers unbox it and it's huge.
At least get the cheapy Cody ring.
It ain't gonna be cheapy anymore.
Well, ringside is still there for $47.
I don't want the Cody figure. If I could find the little ring, I would just get the ring. And
you could sell the fig. People buy it just the fig.
True. But
You of all people would know that.
also, I'm not sure if you got this in, but I did get the Amazon Ultimate Warrior.
I didn't even place the order, dude. I'm sick.
So
if you see that restock,
sleepy.
do me like you did me and Jeff Hardy.
Sleepy, yeah. So I don't have a WrestleMania 6 Warrior, even though it's been released a few times. I don't have one. This is my first one.
Same.
I do like the
what was the other one? There was
a Legends and I know it was a basic, and there was a regular Elite.
I can't remember the regular Elite.
I prefer him without the face paint. I don't know if you guys can see that. I prefer him without the face paint. Yeah, and the one thing that always messes with me about this figure is because in the final shot, like, I'm not a big Warrior guy, but that's one of my favorite matches as a kid. Like, that was the first time I actually saw somebody hold up 2 titles. So he doesn't. So like, they never made one without the war paint and the chest gone. And then at the end of the match, that's where he is. So it's always been thrown off a little bit in figure form for me.
And that's the thing that annoys me about. So Orn the figure, you have it with the face paint, because this comes with 2 heads. One with him with the face paint, one with it worn away. So that's the thing that kind of annoys me. It's like, why put the worn away one if the chest paint's still there?
Yeah. So that's the one thing that bothers me, but it does look way better in person. I didn't swap the heads off yet. I didn't feel like wrestling with this thing, no pun intended. So I did get that. I told you I found a Steve Borden out in the wild, and I completed your Ty J combination, and
I'm about halfway through that set now.
Yeah, and then also with Ringside, as you know, like, you can't just order one thing. You kind of got to make it worth your while with what they charge you for shipping. So
in my life.
So I did pick this up, and we talked about Alexa Bliss earlier. I got the Ultimate Alexa.
Ooh!
Wow!
How you like it?
I love the head scan.
Yeah, it's really good. It really is good. They had a damaged packaging one that didn't have any damage to the packaging that I got for retail, because Ultimates are now $32.99. I got it for $33.99. Box had no damage, but it didn't really matter to me. This is really good. The head scan's great. This dress is a bitch to put on. It's the worst thing hard to put on. I don't like the possessed head sculpt at all, but the fact that this is a 2-in-1 is great, and I do like this whole attire. So the fact that even though it's over, I still can go back to Goddess Alexa Bliss. But I think I'm gonna keep the little dress on her, because this is a nice little rendition of the Playhouse character for her, and that's all I have to show you guys.
Heck yeah! I had a couple things come in recently. I actually have it beautifully posed. I'm gonna shoot you guys a picture. I'll probably actually post it on the social. I have the Ultimate Undertaker doing a chokeslam to a street clothes defining moment Steve Austin. I call it the major group. I called it a minty mint loose defining moment Stone Cold. I'm not even gonna say how much, because people would just cut off the show if they heard it. It was a really good deal.
Which the one with the 3 belts?
No, jeans.
Oh, okay.
Shirt,
Okay.
camo hoodie.
I was about to say, you should have came to me.
I still have a mock one, and I have my baggy sealed one as the one with the 3 belts. But the 3 belts are all scattered. I got the 1 belt on Mania 14 HBK. I got the Smoky Skull on the Hall of Fame Austin. But yeah, I'm all over the place on that. Balo, I guess this did hit the social, so you probably know I did come up on the Sergeant Slaughter San Diego Comic-Con Ultimate. Which this thing, man, this is cool. This is really cool. And I kind of heard them saying reviews on this, on how it was one of the few figures that you can reseal. I didn't realize it had the backdrop fully it can slide up. So I haven't really done much with this yet, but happy to have this, especially with, trying to get somewhat to, I don't want to say complete Ultimate Series, but I think I'm gonna get close to it, especially when, what month we're supposed to be expecting that ring this summer, right?
Who? Oh, the ring? Oh, yeah, probably.
So, with that, yeah, I got that. I got the Jeff Hardy. Around my birthday, Aaron finally hooked up with me. I got the Jeff Hardy Fan Central. I did catch Santana and Ortiz in the wild. So I'm getting close to Unmatched Series 2 being complete. Did catch Big E in the wild, which was completely random. I didn't know. Aaron, you probably noticed this, but this Royal Rumble Big E, especially when we're talking about New Day and same gear. Did you realize that last year's top picks, which this is over a year old figure, this Kofi, same gear?
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was one of those things I didn't really pick up on right away. So I was kind of excited about this because this was, which I think his Mania, he either had a blonde streak or no, his hair was still all black at the time. So I was looking forward to having a Kofi Kingston with the blonde streaks, post him losing the title, and then now having the Big E to go with it. Now similar, Xavier is on the injured reserve list, but the cool thing about both these figures, it does have the XW armbands, paying homage to their boy while he's down. And I did just finally complete the most recent New Day 3 set. I actually bought 2 sets of them loose backs, and I bought a Big E and Xavier, and then I found a set of all 3 of them with the accessories. So I sold the extra Kofi, sold the extra figures. I got tons of accessories, so I'll be able to give this Big E the extra belt that it rightfully deserves. So I was excited about them. Now, plenty of old figure, but at least for a quick little unboxing for the show. Last year's Inside exclusive, the Blood Brothers, which I kept this sealed for a while just because I thought this thing looked so cool. I finally ordered an extra one from Ringside, so I eyed both up, saw which one had the most minor ding. I'll probably drop a different... We're going to try to get some more content on our YouTube page soon, so I'm going to do an unboxing of a Rhodes family figure I do want to do. But to wrap up this week's Matt Madness episode, I just wanted to show a bloody figure of a former 3-time AEW TNT champion. And to be a complete mark, I just wanted to thank Cody for giving AEW. And thanks for a bunch of cool figs, because Jeremy, him, everybody at Jazzwares, they gave us some great figs. I'm going to end this show pretty sad to say. I've been DMing some guy pretty sad about the most recent Cody Chase. I had him down to 2 bills and then was trying to get him on the day after Christmas down lower. I messaged him yesterday, say, hey, by any chance, is that figure sold? He's like, no, it hasn't. But due to the news about him leaving, I'm no longer selling it.
Oh,
broken.
Another one.
Hey, Eric, I know we're talking about merch here. 'Tis the season. I don't think we've had a show here since Pro Wrestling Tees dropped the all elusive AEW Championship belt again. It's out there, guys. It's tax season. Get those tax returns in. Go buy yourself a belt. That's a nice belt, boys.
Oh, heck yeah.
I'm excited to see which one of you gets it. What? Say it again?
You filed your taxes?
Oh, yeah. I'll get my return back soon, man. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
I was about to say, I know my best friend very well. It's either going to be you or I.
Recently.
Ha!
Got a little bit going on here. I don't want to show you too early. Might have to do a little belt session here soon. Got some new stuff going on, so.
Oh, hell yeah. Dan picked up, Dan traded himself to 2 belts recently. He was just showing off that 5mm WWE Shop Smoky Skull belt. He did pick up the classic white IC.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's great stuff. We'll have to do a little video going over some belts here soon.
Yeah, I'm out on the belts. The only belt I want is the Attitude Era tag. That's it. I'm out on belts.
You don't have any left, Halo?
No, I still have them, but as far as like wants, I'm good.
Hell yeah. Well, hell of an episode, guys. So, with all this fig talk, Head over to Ringside Collectibles, WrestlingFigures.com. Use code MMadness to save 10%. We will be back next week at the very latest. We're going to also try to drop some more content in between weeks in the next couple months. But we're wrapping up to the Rumble season and post-Rumble. So stay tuned, and we will be back with more content soon, and we will see you next week.